Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, and thank you so much for tuning back in. I've got some more 2A news for you, and this one comes out of Ammo Land, and you guys know that I'm an Ammo Land fanatic. I love their website, and I strongly suggest everybody check them out. And I love John Crump's writing, so we're going to share an article here from John Crump. I thought it was a very based and direct response to what's going on, and it's entitled, ATF Caught Red-Handed Illegally Copying FFL Information. Woo. Before we get started, I would like to thank our friends at Arkin Optics. They are a military, veteran-owned and operated company, many of which have experience as snipers in the military. They make awesome optics that are super rugged, super budget-friendly, and they're just an amazing group of people. And I have torture tested their optics to the gills, and they have held up so fantastic. I'm so impressed at the quality of the optics for the money. And also, their warranty's excellent. Right? Very, very good warranty and everything. So check them out, Arkin Optics. We have plenty of reviews on the channel if you want to check out a little bit more detail on some of the models we've done reviews on, as well as our torture test on their optics. So make sure you check that out, Arkin Optics, and tell them we sent you. Really good group of people, and big thanks to them for supporting our channel. Okay, so let's get into this. I always look forward to reading stuff from John Crump because he's always spot on. I just like it. Okay. Out of Mesa, Arizona, ammoland.com. A video that has been taking the internet by storm shows an industry operations investigator, or IOI as they're known, from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, caught on video taking photos of a firearm dealer's records with her mobile phone. Video took place at Black Metal Firearms, LLC, located in Mesa, Arizona. Black Metal Firearms is a federal firearms license dealer and manufacturer known for its AR-15 platform rifles. The issue at hand was a disagreement on how a variance for the AR-15 receivers used to build the rifles was entered into the acquisitions and disposition logbook. Ammo Land News is withholding the exact nature of the violation so as not to affect the firearms manufacturer negatively, but looking over the internal IOI handbook obtained by Ammo Land News last May from a source at the Bureau appears to show that the IOI is wrong about the supposed violation. According to the ATF's own rules laid out in documents provided to Ammo Land News by GOA through a Freedom of Information Act request, IOIs are only allowed to photocopy ATF 4473s or other documents to log violations. These copies must be treated as evidence. The ATF's own rules strictly prohibit the mass copying of 4473 forms or any other documents. In the video, the ATF employee can be seen photographing the entire A&D logbook instead of just the relative sections. The surrendering of documents is also supposed to be voluntary by the FFL. Ammo Land News does not believe that Black Metal Firearms consented to having their records copied. The unidentified IOI in the video appears to be violating those rules. The internal document reads as follows. Execute ATF Form 3400.23, receipt for property and other items, and fully describe the documents. The 3400.23 is to be placed in the licensed dealer's files in the sequential order that the 4473 that's being removed. Photocopies of the ATF Form 4473 are to be forwarded to the dealer. Those copies are to be designated as such and dated and initialed by the case agent. Black Metal Firearms wrote on their Instagram page, "No registry? Here's our ATF auditor copying every single page of our A&D books with their cell phone camera using an app that reads text. This data includes make, model, serial number, buyer's name and address, and even the seller. We have well over 20 minutes of footage of this happening in our shop in public view. Yes, this is illegal." The rate of FFL revocations is up over 500% after President Joe Biden launched his zero-tolerance policies on gun dealers. Many of the revocations stem from minor clerical errors by the gun stores. Also, the ATF has been reopening settled cases to revoke FFLs retroactively. The Biden administration says it is cracking down on rogue dealers, but most of the shops caught up in the dragnet are small mom-and-pop stores. Gun advocates worry that this is another sign of the administration's war on guns. Biden's ATF has been caught amassing a massive registry violating federal law. The ATF has also been changing rules to make de facto gun laws to enact gun control without congressional approval. Several challenges have been filed in the courts. AmmoLand News reached out to the ATF for comment, but the ATF did not respond at the time of writing. Great work, John. Great work. I wanted to share that. And, you know, this is a scary situation that we are living in, okay? As I've mentioned in many other videos, Chad and I already did a video about the FFL revocations being up, so you've known about that for quite some time. And look, here's the thing. I'd like to just kind of provide a little bit of context about this. I did reach out to these folks. Black Metal Firearms? Let me make sure I get their name right. Sorry, I forget. Yeah, Black Metal Firearms. So I did reach out to them on Instagram, and we had a pretty lengthy, discussion about some of the stuff that was going on and how that made them feel and what they were going through. And I do have a pretty strong idea of what the exact reasoning is, but for the same reason that John didn't share the information, I'm not going to go sharing somebody's business like that. But I will add this, that running a gun business is hard, right? Guns are one of the most regulated items in this country. Selling them as an FFL is laborious. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of accountability. And look, we're all human beings. We make mistakes. Yeah, sometimes there's a little typographical error. Sometimes you forget to dot the I or cross the T. It happens. We're human beings. You've got people in front of you, sometimes a line of people in front of you that are wanting to do business, right? And it can be tough, especially at gun shows where, a lot of gun dealers will take a lot of inventory to gun shows and they'll mark it up a marginal amount just to move inventory. Now, I'm not saying that it's an excuse that absolves you of the clerical importance of the sanctity of the task at hand, right? Because even if there were no 4473s at all, and let's just say you still need to be able to keep up with your profit margins and who you're selling what to, and to keep up with serial numbers and makes and models, and to know what you have and what you don't have from an inventory standpoint. However, I'm just trying to lay out the facts that dealing in guns is hard, and especially when you're dealing in a lot of volume, when there's a lot of guns changing hands and a lot of things going on, there are actually many gun dealers that have their very own people internally that handle nothing but compliance, what they call compliance officers, which I hate the term officer because that just makes it sound so KGB-ish or so like, Soviet Union. But here's the thing. They have people internally that handle these things, and their job is to go through every single 4473 with a fine-tooth comb and find any tiny little offending issue, right? I would strongly recommend that every FFL get set up for Fastbound, all right? If you don't know what Fastbound is, it's a digital logbook that allows you to have much better control over your inventory. You know exactly what's going on with acquisition, disposition, repair status, background status, waiting period status, whatever the situation might be surrounding a given SKU that has a given 4473 on it. It gives you total control over your entire books. It makes it so much easier to do audits, I'm telling you. And this is not, I'm not trying to sell you Fastbound because it is kind of expensive. Now, I know a lot of people still want to do the old paper A&D forms, and that's fine, you can. But just bear in mind that with revocations being up as high as they are, it might be worth it to invest in something like Fastbound. And I would also recommend every gun dealer to get in with FFL Guard. Okay, if you don't know who FFL Guard is, they're a group of people that basically, they sort of audit ATF back, right? So what they do is they protect your gun business. So if for instance, if there's auditors out in your area, or if there's auditors out even in your state, FFL Guard will send you emails saying, hey, there's auditors out in whatever state and city, and if you're a town over, you have to reasonably assume that they might be coming for you next. So it gives you a little bit of a heads up where you can kind of go, hey, maybe we need to do a little bit of housekeeping and just make dang sure that every little thing is absolutely correct. I'm just trying to offer that little bit of advice to gun dealers. Look, running a gun business is hard, right? People don't understand how hard it is. It's so much work. It's so much painstaking paperwork, right? We are the most regulated industry in this country, and it sucks. It's really hard to do business, and they set it up on purpose to make it hard to do business. They want someone to look at the paperwork and go, wow, I have to do all that? and then go, well, you know what? Maybe I don't want to be in the gun business. They want you to do that. They want you to think that it's so daunting that you won't ever try to take it up ever again. So, and the same thing goes for, being a manufacturer, being an SOT, any other additions to your license that you might get past just a Title I. The paperwork can be very daunting and very confusing. The law letters and all of this random paperwork you have to have. It's confusing for a reason, right? The government loves bureaucracy. They love paperwork. They love placing hurdles between you and your guns. That's just the bottom line. That's what they're here to do. That's what they want to do. They want to disenfranchise you and make you think, you know what, maybe I'll find some other line of work to get in because it just isn't worth it. And with revocations being up, look, guys, you got to pay attention to this kind of stuff. It's very important. I wanted to share it now. Now that we got the FFL kind of, that part sort of out of the way, I'll just talk about the ATF there for a minute. Now, the ATF has several protocols and internal, regulations, lots of little things that they're supposed to do. They're supposed to conduct themselves in a very specific way. They're supposed to conduct themselves with the utmost professionalism, right? Your IOI is not supposed to be a turd to you. They're not supposed to be jerks to you. They're not supposed to threaten you. They're supposed to be very kind and cordial and straight to the point and very businesslike. Your audit, if you are involved in an audit as a gun dealer, should be like a business meeting. Those people should come well-dressed, right? Ready to work, asking very specific questions, just like a business meeting, right? It shouldn't be this political air that is about the situation, right? Your IOI is not supposed to be a political type person. They're not a political officer who's coming in to exact the will of the political elite against you. At least they're not supposed to. Now, if this lady was now I heard that she was taking photos of these 4473s with her personal cell phone. And if you look, her government phone is sitting in front of her, and it is her personal phone, which I've verified with black metal that it was a personal phone that she was taking these pictures of the A&D books with. And they are definitely not supposed to use their personal phones for that type of a task. And they're certainly not supposed to be taking pictures of the A&D books at all anyway. So with revocations being up, just keep in mind that this type of stuff is scary. You need to keep in mind that they're very stringent about paperwork, and they want to shut gun dealers down. They know that the Second Amendment is this precious jewel that we're not going to allow them to touch. It's like the idol in Indiana Jones, the gold idol sitting there, and they're going to try to, replace it with a bag of sand, right? They know that the Second Amendment's off limits, right? The Bruin case changed things a lot, right? Chevron deference has already been, let's just say challenged. So a lot of this just out of thin air rulemaking and lawmaking, this fake lawmaking that they're coming up with. Oh, let's just change the rules. Oh, we're going to interpret this way. So they know that all of that stuff is on the way out, that they're going to have to go through the Congress if they want anything done. That's why they're trying to pass H.R. 1808. Now, obviously, even if H.R. 1808 does make it through the Senate and over to the president's desk for a signature, that doesn't mean that the lower courts aren't going to shoot it down immediately, because Bruin changes a lot of things in that regard. There's been a lot of long-standing prohibitions that are now being challenged and won in court. Colorado is a recent case. NAGR just challenged a magazine capacity ban and won in Colorado, and there are many more to come. So, guys, keep your head up. It's going to be all right. But look, when I was in basic training in Fort Benning, long time ago, I'm not going to dare say how long ago it was. All right, I was with Bravo 150, and our motto was play the game. So play the damn game. Play the game, right? That's all I'm going to say. Sometimes you got to play the game. Sometimes you got to roll your sleeves up and play hardball. Right now, they're playing hardball. Just be prepared for that. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. Great job, John. Wonderful job. And go over to Ballistic Ink and pick yourself up a snazzy new t-shirt. That's one way that you can support our efforts. Thank you so much for being a part of what we do and for watching today's video. Many more on the way. Again, check out AmmoLand. Awesome people. Really, really good folks. And we'll see you soon. Many more videos on the way.